Yeah, because
all digital
it's
currency.
like
And it says we're live.
It
yeah,
lies.
it doesn't. I used to be able to log in early, and it would come up, but now it doesn't. I have to wait until after you go live before I bring it up.
Huh. Well, in other news,
Yes.
my little Rita has spotted the first tamale dealer of the season in the wild.
Yeah. Drug deal tamales.
Yes,
And we're off and running.
4 dozen drug deal tamales are on the way.
I guess,
This one's $10.
damn.
Yeah.
Take that and run.
It's even better than Chewy. But you haven't been
We,
here for
we
lunch
haven't
in a while.
we haven't tried the tamales yet, but
Yeah.
Chewy Smalls?
no, this
Oh, this one.
whichever one Rita chased down and
We need
Let's
to
hope they're
order.
not.
terrified into 4 dozen
Let's hope they're
tamales.
not freezer tamales that they're the size of a
I
cigarette.
will be annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Taquitos.
well, we're gonna have to order Chewy's tamales sometime this year anyway.
Oh, for Christmas or
Christmas,
or Thanksgiving.
Both.
Embrace the power of and.
And well, the abuelita at the place I work needs to. I'm gonna have to double the tamale order this year.
Well, we're back in the rainy season, quote unquote.
Did we ever leave the rainy season?
Yes.
Yeah, briefly.
We had like a week and a half without rain.
We
Now
got
we had 28 days.
we got about
without
a
rain.
month without rain.
No, we haven't
Yeah.
gone that long.
Yeah.
Really?
So
And the bad thing is we've started a repeat of last fall.
yeah.
Well, tell me about it. I'm not going to get any sleep now.
No, well,
No.
we started a repeat of last fall.
Well, that's your own damn fault.
NOAA is announcing that this year's winter will be a repeat or worse of last year's winter.
Last year's winter wasn't bad. How can I mean?
Excuse me, you're from friggin' Minneapolis, Minnesota. Shut up.
I'm from Africa and the Middle East.
So anyway, it started raining again.
Froze my butt off this last winter.
The
Folks,
first
Folks,
quote
it got to
unquote
68.
thunderstorm that came through, we got about 2 drops.
It's going around us again. You notice that? Did that
Yeah.
last year.
The second one was about 42 drops. And then last night was oh my God, you're going to get hit with ping pong ball sized hail. Yeah, right.
Yeah, whatever.
We got an eighth of an inch rain.
It was enough rain to get Obi up to wake me up. I mean,
He just smelled the petrochlor.
Yeah.
Bing, he's awake.
Yeah.
well, the bad part was the no rain we got yesterday had the thunder monster all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So that guy is panting and blowing fur. And,
Yeah, he's blowing chunks of fur.
yeah.
Well, it's fall.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
blowing his
It's
summer
just-
coat,
yeah, blowing.
and he's stressed about the thunder monster.
Yeah, arcade down here, by the time Christmas is over, everybody's tired of making tamales, so we don't get them for New Year's.
Yeah. Yeah. Abuelita just takes off and
Yeah.
I'm done.
It's
And
like, okay, I made my money for Christmas.
Yeah.
Screw
we
you.
made that Christmas money. We're done.
I watched my nana make tamales. It's labor intensive.
Yeah, it is.
It is. I mean, there's 4 or 5 pots in the stove going. There's
Oh,
steamers.
for good ones. If you got
Yeah.
good ones, it is labor. It is a labor of love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don says it should be in the 80s, high in the 80s, low in the 50s next weekend. That works.
You go back 4 generations in my family, and you have Native American. You
Okay.
go back 3 generations, and you have Mexican.
Okay.
This is on my mom's side. So my generation was the first generation that didn't speak whatever the Hopi speak, because that was what tribe they were belonged to, plus Spanish, plus English. We all spoke English.
Yeah, straight English. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go do tamales. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was,
Josh says, I was wondering if there was a guest for today. I heard Ian say that his dog was moderate to tame one, and I was horrifyingly curious.
I said what?
You said something about a dog. I think you were talking about Obi.
Oh, probably.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
we were talking about the Amazon robot.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and the IRS.
Rains. Yeah, the rains overseas are unlike anything you get here.
Oh, no, wet.
monsoon.
Oh
Yeah.
no, wet in West Africa was.
Yeah.
We actually paddled a life raft across the ramp one day to get to the airplane.
There were several years that Chris and I actually built a quote unquote boat in the backyard so we could float around the knee deep water.
Yeah.
What's the weird thing? Because when I was flying up in Tulsa, it snowed so hard one day that they went through and they plowed the ramps, and an airplane stripped its nose gear out from underneath it,
Yeah.
taxiing from the hangar out to the
Wow.
Oh,
because there was like a 2 or 3 inch ice step,
Yeah.
Oh,
just
clang.
prop
Yeah.
everything. But then you go to West Africa or Asia,
Yeah.
and you get these monsoons where you're literally having to wear a scuba gear because there's so much water.
Yeah.
Well, what we used to do was when we were pre-flighting and going flying that kind of crap, we'd put all of our flight gear in trash bags and walk across the ramp in swim trunks and flip-flops with our trash bag over our shoulder going to the airplane.
He said flip trucks, and I was expecting to say flippers. Not the flops.
Well, one of the reasons I
You ever
actually,
try to walk in them some bitches, you'll know why. I
yeah, that's
didn't
why
say
you walk
that.
backwards.
Yeah.
But in West Africa in the 60s and 70s, the rain gear wasn't the best. To my memory, it was semi-rigid sheets of plastic that were either sonic welded or glued together so that the where they were welded were uncomfortable edges.
It wasn't the old whalers
No.
oilcloth with wax impregnated.
Nope, it was plastic. And to this day, I loathe rain gear.
Yeah.
And I hate being wet. I hate walking around in the rain, but I hate rain gear because of what we used to wear in West Africa, even worse.
Oh, the army poncho.
Yeah,
They
that was the smell of the poncho.
well, no, they issued them with holes,
Yeah.
and there was always the one pinhole right down the back of your neck.
And ponchos, didn't work worth a damn
No,
anyway.
they didn't. I mean, I swear to God, they came out of the factory with holes in them.
Yeah. They were the pre-punched holes for your discomfort.
That
Yes.
was probably the one thing that everybody that I knew in the Navy shit canned off the bat was the raincoat.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I can
But-
believe it.
However, the poncho liner, on the other hand,
Oh, my whoopee.
the whoopee,
Dave
was
Bach asked, didn't you have World War II surplus rain gear down there?
oh no, we had the latest and greatest 1972
Yeah.
sonic welded semi-rigid sheets, and they were uncomfortable as hell and didn't stop any rain.
My cold weather gear they issued me in Korea, that was Korean War vintage.
And Nancy says rain gear makes it sweat.
Yeah.
Because all it does is keep all the heat inside.
Yeah, well, you can't breathe because otherwise the water
Well, that
gets
was
into.
the what didn't come through the cracks, and then the neck of the rain gear West Africa was sweat off your body. It was
Yeah.
just I didn't.
And RK chimes in. Hated the poncho, loved the whoopee.
It will be poncho
Yeah.
liner.
Yeah.
Gift from God.
Yeah.
Proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy.
I have one in the back of the truck just in case.
I used to have 5 of them that all wandered off. And
Well,
by
you've
wandered
gone
off,
through how many women in your life?
if I wandered off, I don't mean I've lost them. Well, I do mean I've lost them, but I mean they've left with somebody else.
What I love is the material they use for the whoopee, because you would slide right off.
Yeah.
I know. There's the thunder monster here.
Obi's trying to crawl into Jim's lap, sitting at the table.
Because the thunder monster. I know.
Amanda says, see, when people talk about the great outdoors, I remember the outside is rain, cold, and mosquitoes. Amanda, be glad you never went in the military.
Well, there's a reason that I love our hunt camp.
Yeah.
Because it has a bunkhouse
Yes.
and an outhouse with actual flushing water.
Yeah.
And, we lock the door to keep the outside out and the inside in.
I can remember on a hiking trip when I was a kid. It was in Glacier National Park. We hiked a couple miles up into a mountain, and it started raining. And the next day, we ate 3 days worth of food because we were just shivering.
Yep.
And then,
Calories.
and instead of a 5-day camping trip, it was a 2-day camping trip.
Wow.
Yeah, Josh, most corporate rain gear works about as well as could be expected, i.e. not.
Well,
And it does, when you're trying to move quietly, it's crackling and crinkling and catching on everything. So yeah.
corporate reindeer is meant to look good.
Yeah. Well,
in aviation, you don't wear rain gear anyway because you got no place to put it on the airplane. So
I've been told that the latest generation of rain gear is fantastic, but I just look at it and cringe.
RK said Tuesday night was such a light and sound show we didn't sleep. Too bright and too loud. Cat decided under the bed covers was a good place. You got 6 inches. You did better than we did up here. It literally goes around us.
It does.
You can watch it on the radar. It'll be heading towards like a freight train, and then about
Splits.
5 miles outside city limits does this.
Yeah.
It's like, son of a. It's not always bad, but when you need rain, it's bad.
Well, after we go nuclear in the next war, all the radiation will go around us.
Yeah, a plus, right?
Yeah, that's a plus.
Well, it's all because of the Red River.
I guess.
No, it actually is.
That or there's an Indian graveyard out there somewhere that's cursed.
I blame the Oklahomans. They're bastards anyway.
Yeah, well, Oklahoma's easy to blame.
When I lived in Carolina, we had the same thing, but you would see the front coming up the Savannah River. And as soon as it hit the Savannah River Valley, it would split. And it would literally go around us and it rejoin on the other side of us and, run off the coast.
Oh, Lord. Well, I learned when I got over here today that Amazon has debuted a home robot.
It will fetch a drink for you if you ask it to. Will also data mine all of your information and send it to a third party that you have not selected.
Yeah, because it operates off the cloud, which, as we all know, and everybody should remember, is somebody else's computer.
I'm not sure it's operating off the cloud, but I'm almost 100% positive they did not put enough computing power on board something this big.
Oh, is it only that big?
To handle what you would expect a house robot to do.
It's not a Jetsons version.
No, it's.
Dave Box says, did somebody place a ward stone in your town? Yeah, it's possible.
No kidding. No, they placed it about 12 miles west of our town.
Yeah. Koala says, well, my NSA observer's fighting the feed, keeps skipping and restarting. Sorry.
He's drunk and keeps hitting the refresh button.
If you get him back, I could show him my chest hair. Just offering.
No. Also amazes the coworkers when I show up with that appropriate accompanying hat and the joke start.
Now I will wear a hat. And I'm here to tell you a hat, as long as it's not horizontal wind, a hat is 90% of your rain gear.
Except head covers are not allowed on the ramp.
I don't have to worry about that now,
They
do
become
I?
FOD.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that now, do I?
My theory is you can only get so wet, and then it just starts running off anyways.
Yeah.
So you might as well just
go with it.
Yeah.
John says, remember when they all discovered that Alexa was recording all of the conversations at your house and storing them? Yeah. Amanda says, hey, wiretap, I need a recipe for pancakes.
Yes.
Back of the Bisquick box. Real good recipe.
I remember the old joke about the back in the 70s. Any calls coming from overseas were monitored by somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad always, when he would call home for holidays, he would call my mom's family. And at the end of it, he'd always say, "And goodbye, CIA agent." And he swears, he swore into his dying day that at one time he heard a quiet, "Thank you."
Well, remember the military phone system? Well, you're probably not old enough to deal with all
that. No. It had it in the 80s.
I remember the listening post that the U.S. set up in England to monitor all cell phones when cell phones first started.
Yeah.
And they had a list too of words. That they were pinging.
The hot sheet.
Yeah, I'll never forget Ottawa now because that was a clunky system at best. And it had routine, priority, and flash were the 3 levels of calls.
And although there were policies about what was routine, priority, and flash, if you had a sweet and kind operator, they would ignore those.
Yeah, it wasn't the operator; it was how much salad you had on your collar.
Yeah, no, it was
not
the
necessarily.
operator.
Really, because when I was in Korea, there was one payphone in between the gate, my unit area, and the PX's um, liquor store, and there was a line there.
Yeah.
Nobody used the Audubon system to call home. There was a line at that, and you'd go there at like 3 in the morning, thinking, "No, nobody there." No,
Yeah,
there's a line there.
everybody thought there would be nobody there.
Yeah.
I never understood the military phone system.
Yeah.
I never understood the wacky everything you had to do to call somebody outside the base. It
Yeah.
just it never made any sense to me.
You'd have to assume that it's easier to call somebody inside the military with that phone system, which is why they would have it to ease communication. But
Well,
no.
the problem is it didn't always work.
No.
I was sitting in the hangar 282 at Barbers Point. Went to call maintenance to check on the status of the flight, the airplane. And guy answers the phone and goes, "Maintenance." I went, "Yeah, what's the status on Yankee Delta 4?" "What? What's the status on Yankee Delta 4? Is it up or down?" And this guy goes, "The fuck you talking about? There ain't no Yankee Delta 4 sitting on a ramp."
I'm looking at it.
Who have I got here? Let's late act maintenance. "Excuse me?" He says, "This is late act maintenance. Where the hell are you?" I said, "Hangar 282 in Barbers."
On the other side of the
And
planet.
both of us kind of went, "Ah, fucking click."
Yeah.
Picked it back up, dial. It got maintenance the second time. John says his daddy helped design and build Audubon. And
I'm
getting
sorry.
a call from overseas would allow the CIA to wiretap your phone. Yep.
There's so much crap.
Yeah.
It's weird because they can do it without a warrant.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Well,
overseas.
it's a military phone system. It is perfectly legal for the government to monitor all government phone calls.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't realize how many rights you
You-
sign away.
when you sign the dotted line at
Yeah.
NEPS. Yeah.
And because I read my contract, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And in there's several paragraphs about which rights you're giving up.
They're quite clear about it.
Yeah. Remember when he used to have to answer the phone on duty? "This is such and such unsecured line subject to monitoring."
Yep.
And that was required that you answer the phone that way.
This is 3rd Battalion, 1st. This is Sergeant McMurtry is unsecured line. Go ahead, sir, ma'am.
Yeah. Now that was the Army. We didn't have to do the sir, man.
How did it go? It was 8 Troop 2nd 17th Cav, Specialist Guy speaking air Cav.
All the way.
No, we didn't say air assault. We said air Cav.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Dave Box says in the 70s and 80s, Dad was in international sales, making and receiving overseas calls all the time. Oh, I bet his CIA agent was having fun.
Yeah. You always want to listen for the double click.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we kept getting told, no, that's an artifact of the transatlantic line. That was going,
Bullshit.
bullshit.
And when you didn't get the double click, you were like, "What?
Is he okay?
Am I not worth it anymore?"
Dad joked one time he was going to call Virginia, ask if our CIA agent was okay because he wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Is he all right? Do we need some flowers?
Richard brings up a good point. In the novelization of the movie Hackers, there was a line: "If you don't want it known, don't use the phone."
Yeah.
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 Disconnecting the phone before the morning brief. Oh, hell yes.
God, I hated.
In the ASWACs, there were 4 phones total, and not a single one of them was in a space where anything was secure.
Yeah, we had to do a meeting once between 3 secure groups that were not in the same location. So
Ooh.
the phone, the time, like an hour.
Yeah.
To get the phones all
Synced up.
Yeah, and that was just could this have been an email?
RK, when I retired in 2016, the PTTs were still in use in the skiffs.
PT push it all.
Yeah.
The skiffs I used, there was no communication interrupt, period.
Oh, there was communications in and out, but it was at
You had to do
proper
it to get
level.
You had to do to get a skiff to do that.
Well, you didn't have stews. We had stews.
Okay. In the secure compartment information facilities I've entered, there was no electromagnetic communication interrupt.
Oh yeah, no, because we would do software development, secure software development in the secure lab. Literally was hard. There were no lines interrupt.
Oh, John says, my dad was a shop steward for the union, worked for the phone company. So whenever the phone company workers went on strike, their phone got tapped by the phone company.
He probably signed something with the phone company when he
Yeah.
was made shop
Oh, yeah.
steward
Oh, yeah.
that allowed them to do that too.
Well, people always, in the bad old days, you hung up the phone. What? That shut off the line.
No.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Amanda, that's a good point. She says, given what people are on watch list for these days, I question of life choices if somebody isn't on at least one.
Is that Murder Kid?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Murder Kid.
Yeah, RK, we had Stu 3s, so we had Stees when I left in 2016, so a little bit better quality. I actually got to, for my sins, work on the original Stews, since I was in a billet where that was a required communications tool. And that was when we found out that high-pitched female voices didn't work on a stew when you went encrypted. Because high-pitched female voices encrypted came out as a warble.
I could see that. I could see that from the compression, and then probably stripping out high and low end anyway.
Yeah.
To save on.
Considering my tinnitus and hearing loss, the range of my hearing loss, a lot of high-pitched female voices are warbles anyway.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, RK, we had the mini safes, but they were outside. Yeah.
Oh, you know what we had walking in the secure lab? We had a little plastic wire, inbox thing. Yeah. We're supposed to throw our cell phones and keys in there.
And boy, if you forgot to do it, you were in a world of hurt.
It was just.
Well, what's funny now with everybody wearing Apple Watches?
Oh yeah.
They have to take them off and leave them outside.
Well, you'd be able to eventually figure out where the secure location is on that base.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the Fitbits. Remember the Fitbits?
Yeah. Well, the Fitbits they were getting the outline of the base.
Yeah.
But if you're dumping them in a secure box
where
time,
they don't move for a period of exactly 1.5 hours.
It's gonna. That's. I don't know. Will be. I know.
Yeah, that's true, RK. You also got to remove the Fitbits.
I know.
Anything you got to remove anything. You have to remove anything. I was watching one of the folks at the facility I work at was walking down the hall talking into her Apple iPhone like it was Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
And thinking, it is simultaneously horrifying and glorious to be living in the future.
Yeah.
The only thing that pisses me off is we don't have the flying car that folds into a briefcase.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want my flying car that folds into a briefcase.
I wanted to be able. I thought I would be spending my vacations in a satellite, in a tube in orbit full of cities and parks. National Geographic promised me by 1999.
The far off year of 1986.
Yeah, 1999. There'd be these rotating tubes in the sky full of places to fish and parks and cities. And I don't have a single one of them yet.
I did learn that the M1 carbine is the ultimate evolution of the personal rifle from all the B science fiction movies I've seen. Because that's what they all carried was M1 carbines.
Yeah, because they were available. Well, that's what Stowbridge had in the prop shop.
Apparently, if you were a monkey, or an ape in the far, far future, the M1 carbine was also your best friend.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Because Planet of the Apes, they were.
Everybody goes on about how customizable the AR platform is. No, the movies told us the M1 carbine was the epitome of rifle development.
Yeah, I didn't realize
it's what Stowbridge had.
I didn't realize the rifles and that the chimps we're using in Planet of the Apes were M1 carbines in a different stock.
Yeah, with a thumbhole stock. Yeah.
Until I saw one and started taking it apart. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, you ever wondered why the Empire used surplus
Sterlings,
surplus British equipment?
David, that would mean if you have an implanted cardiac device that the cardiologist can access remotely,
Well, you're not going to a
you would
skiff.
never be able to go into a skiff.
Well, doesn't any radio frequency kind of screw those things up anyways?
I don't know.
Because
I don't have one.
I've had people at restaurants yelling at cops because they're on the radio in the restaurant.
I
Yeah,
think that's just an excuse to yell at cops.
Okay.
Well,
there you
800 megahertz, depending on what kind of device you've got, 800 megahertz can ping it.
go. So I wonder if it's
That's
like old, maybe it's old heart
Well,
pacemakers.
I'll
Remember-
tell you a funny story about 800 megahertz and cop radios. If a law enforcement ever takes one into a building with a computer floor, the radio will not work anymore until they leave, because the computer floor height is perfect for trapping 800 megahertz and 900 megahertz. It's not working.
Or it could be the fact that it's old gear and it's been used to hit more than one person and it's not working quite as well as the reason we call them bricks.
Well, when you take away your D-cell mag light.
Yeah, David,
And you got this Motorola brick.
I know the input output's only a couple of feet, but legally, because you have a implanted device capable of transmission and reception, you would not be allowed in a
Nope.
skiff.
I wouldn't let you in a skiff no matter what the legal
Yeah.
said.
Bombs conducting phones in school. Yeah, oh yeah, Richard.
I'm just picturing these NSA agents tackling the spy as he's walking out of the skiff, and then taking these Freddy Krueger things and digging into his chest to grab that pacemaker. God damn it! I want to see that in the movie.
Write the script. Write the script.
Richard said there's now a case where a woman is complaining that a ham radio operator was affecting her glucose meter. That
I'm
would
not
be,
sure that's possible.
well, if depending on which band he was on, if he was on a 12 meg or a 10 meg repeater,
Well, yeah, but her glucose meter is Bluetooth.
Or NFC. And NFC is
it's
magnetic. So
NFC.
NFC
It's
is
magnetic, yeah.
magnetic. So no, the
Oh, okay.
ham radio can't
I'm not
touch it.
thinking of the implanted
Yeah.
ones. I'm thinking of like on your phone, the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So,
NFC is
technically-
magnetic and
yeah.
the ham radio won't touch it at all.
Well, no, you got to look at what the frequencies are and what the subharmonics are. Because if it got down to the right quarter wave, yeah, it could.
It's just,
That'd be an
I'm thinking
interesting
of-
one to follow and see what happens.
I'm thinking of my dad's ham radio antennas. None of them were that small.
No.
No. We had one. It was a giant X that was 12 feet from point to point.
Yeah, but that's
And the other one was 125 feet.
Yeah.
One from back corner, house, front corner, other front corner, house, back corner.
Wow.
Yeah.
To be long enough.
yeah. Well, that was your
That's when he picked up the ham radio operators in the Soviet Union.
yeah, that was the 12 meg, I think, 12 or 14 meg.
I remember
But that was basically a long wave, and he was doing a half wave antenna.
I remember driving through the very, very interesting giant trailer park that is Howardwood, Texas, and seeing a slinky run from a trailer to a pole that had been erected that we thought was for power.
Yeah.
And going through wondering why the hell is there a slinky? And it turned out he hooked up his radio to the slinky. He was using slinky as an antenna.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I can see that.
Well, anybody that's ever driven by a military base and heard the vit, vit, vit through the AM
Scanning
or
radar.
FM radar,
Scanning radar.
that's the radar on base.
Yeah, scanning radar.
Yeah, they ramp those things up enough so that they'll cook a rabbit. Which
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want to cook a rabbit that way. I'd use a grill. I remember my dad, the big X antenna he had on a pulley crank
Yeah.
system, and he would crank it up when he was using it. And I can't tell you how many times we're all watching him through the back door window in the middle of a storm, cranking it down, hoping he doesn't get hit by lightning.
Yeah.
Now that I thought about Howardwick, I have so many more trailer park stories I could have written. Howardwick, Texas. It's in Donnelly County, and when I was there last, there were maybe 3 actual built structures, and the rest of it was either lots that have been sold or lots with trailers on them. And it was a giant 200-person trailer park with everything you would expect from a 200-person trailer park.
Yeah, Richard, Cemetery HF net for Iceland. Oh, God, KWM 2As, AKC FRC 93s. Yep.
Y'all are off into stuff I don't know about.
Oh, yeah, I remember the number stations too. Oh, Richard said, oh, a Slinky Tana. Yeah, they're apparently a thing.
That's a thing.
I didn't realize that, Tom, because this guy, he was in one of the micro Airstreams, one of the silver micro Airstreams.
I know that. Yeah, they're a teardrop shape kind
Yeah,
of. Sort of
teeny tiny, and the inside was paneled because when I had to go drag him out of it,
Yeah.
I looked. It was paneled in copper mesh and tinfoil.
Oh, Faraday cage.
Faraday cage.
Yeah.
And then, he was the one that had the you had the path from the street to the Airstream went through this very elaborate pattern.
Yeah.
And if you got off the pattern, he'd freak out.
Is he the one that had the location of Hopper's body, or was that somebody else?
That was somebody else.
Okay.
This is the one that sent a FOIA request to the sheriff demanding my secret file, a copy of my DNA, and something else. And the sheriff went, "Oh, one of those," and bend it.
Because
So-
somebody in a micro Airstream has the facilities to process DNA.
Well, he wanted the DNA results, make sure I was still human.
Josh is back on the. Now he's combining a trailer park story and hunting anthology. Trailer
So-
park elves while hunting. Yeah.
So I just got a little annoyed by this because I was a little thin-skinned at the time, and I spent the next 3 nights parked down the road with one of those, those orange Viewmasters.
Yeah.
I had the disc left over from Malta, so I'd put a disc in and I'd look at all the stuff I remember about Malta, and take out a disc, put another disc. He lasted 3 days before he disappeared in the middle of the night. I showed up the next day for day 4, and that lot was empty.
Yeah.
So,
Thing is,
Yeah, Nancy, that's one of the requirements. She says when I was a mate on a Sea Scout ship out of Seattle, old T-boat, we would turn off the radar going through the locks so it don't fry any dock workers. Yeah. Yep.
that's
And it's
kind of you.
Well, it's the same today with the crew des. They have to turn off the spy when the helo's operating.
yeah, we're not supposed to taxi with the radar, with the weather radar operating.
Yeah.
But I think that's more because it screws up our software than anything else.
But oh my God, we had preppers and flat crazies.
Because I've seen more than
Koala,
a
if
couple.
you want to tinfoil a house, put it on the inside.
He did.
But no,
Oh.
Koala is talking about wanting to do it, and Josh is going, oh, hell no. Really, if you want to do that, get a copper mesh works a hell of a lot better.
And you want a layer of tinfoil, the copper mesh, and it can be pretty big too.
No, you don't
And
need
then
the
another layer of tinfoil, and you want to put that on the outside of the house.
You don't need the tinfoil. The copper mesh is a good
But-
enough Faraday.
Make sure you have the shiny side of the tinfoil out.
Well, this guy, he would chase. He'd get out of the house, and something would happen. He had a 1,000,000 candle power spotlight
Oh, I love
Oh,
him.
yeah.
with a phone cord, coil phone cord, going
Yeah.
to a battery pack that went around his shoulder.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, it was a motorcycle battery.
It probably only lasted 15 minutes too.
It didn't last very long, but he would get out at 3 in the morning and he'd be running around the streets of Howardwick with this 1,000,000 candle power, eye burner and a Mossberg 590 looking for aliens.
Yeah.
Because
Can't
they were
fault-
there.
Can't fault him on the trusty shotgun.
No, I couldn't follow him to a shotgun. So the very first time what the? And he covered me with a shotgun and demanded that I identify as human or alien. I had had enough. And we had a wrestling match, got shotgun away. That slippery little bugger was wearing a tinfoil onesie. So he got away from me. And I tried to chase him into his trailer house. And I got in there and got him hooked up. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck?
I wonder what a
Get the hell out.
tinfoil onesie would do with a taser.
Scott says they are now keeping lists of people that buy copper mesh.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm not
This
surprised.
would be 95, 94, 95.
It's John,
So
and John K says You're in Texas, of course you put the shiny side out so the AC doesn't have to work so hard.
There's a man knows his tinfoil.
Yep.
But no, he had a Rottweiler that was apparently very vicious but loved hamburger. So I got on the Rottweiler's good side because I'm not stupid.
Right.
And after I hooked him up, he had a warrant out of Montana
Wow.
for throwing copper sulfate in water, so that just enough to make the water blue. Threw it on a state senator because he thought he was a zeta reticulum. And apparently, copper sulfate in water will cause, I don't know, it will reveal them for the aliens they are.
Okay, first
Whatever.
How did he know which planet we're coming from? How did where did he get a name like that for a planet? Well, I covered that one up real quick.
But they didn't want they had the active warrant for him, but they wouldn't extradite him.
Would you want that guy back in your state?
That's a good point. That's a damn
Josh
good point.
says copper mesh is like a meth head mating attractant, though, and we only have so much land to bury the remains.
Well, if they do it right, you just finish the cremation and throw the ash to the wind,
Yeah.
because there's been more than one
Oh yeah.
stealing copper wire.
Yep.
I still love the story. What was it? Was it England where they were doing in early days of the DNA testing? They kept finding the same DNA popping up on all these crime scenes, and they thought they had a gigantic serial criminal,
Right.
right? It
Turned out to be from the guy recovering the DNA.
No. It was the people making the testing kits.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
even worse.
This one girl wasn't paying attention to all the safety procedures.
Whoopsie.
Don says we've done pickup in county only once before. Yeah.
This was a adjoining states only, Montana and adjoining states only.
Yeah.
Were you tempted to stick them in your and drive them up to?
Very tempted.
Because I think Colorado joins.
Montana, no.
And
Trust
Richard
me,
asked
very
the obvious question: would you want to be transporting him?
I was planning on duct taping him into a duffel bag, putting him on a bus with a offload at Billings, Montana sticker on the duffel bag.
It's cheaper if you buy his ticket cargo only, and you just throw him in the baggage compartment underneath the bus.
The only issue was I was originally going to do it post office, and the local postal clerk happened to be in the sheriff's office dropping off mail and said, "Don't you dare! I will remember you." Damn it! All right, bus it is.
Don says they had one guy that we fielded calls all the time from agencies in other counties going, please. She
Please
said, her
extradite me.
response was, no, get your own crazy repellent warrant. Yeah, David, some of those accidental trailer fires weren't
So I don't know.
so accidental.
I've seen more than a couple towns in Texas where it's this prefab county seat and then just trailer park. There's no permanent buildings. Not as big as yours, but
Yeah. It's not. It's actually a county seat. It's the center. It's center of town, so to speak.
Well, no. This one's out northeast of Pecos, and there's a wooden sign on it that says whatever county seat.
Really?
Yeah, and
Because
there's
most county seats are at least 120 years old.
Yeah.
That could be. They may have cladded it in new. I don't know.
Or they may have knocked down the old one and just put up a new one.
Yeah. But it's and then there's like 10 or 15 trailers.
There's a county west of here. I had to go pick them in at one time, and the courthouse was basically a 1 or 2 room courthouse, and right across the street from the courthouse was a residential house, 3-bedroom. And I said, "Where's the sheriff's office?" They said, "See an inmate pushing the kid on the swing?" I said, "Yeah, that's it."
That's the sheriff. The kid on the swing? No.
No, that was the sheriff's kid. So I went over there, and they'd taken a house, and they gutted 2 of the bedrooms and turned them into cells.
Boy, that's secure.
Are you serious? Do you want your inmate or not? Yeah. Get back, told the sheriff, don't ever send me there again.
John Right. It says if you want to attack crazy, especially crazy women, raise big cats.
Nope.
No, I'll pass.
Not
Yeah.
good.
I mean, if the guy picks a 5.90 shotgun, how crazy can he be, really?
Well, I mean, he was running something that looked like a ham radio, but he swore was an alien detection thing that had lights and meters and worked and everything. And it hooked up to his slinky. And so he's crazy, not stupid.
What I want
Don says, look up Fed Smoker on YouTube. It's a rabbit hole.
Fed smoker?
Yeah.
Fed smoker.
I might have to do that.
She says at one point I had 16 alternate accounts. I counted.
Oh, God. Oh, Don, what have you been doing?
Yeah.
She's on more lists than I am. Wait a minute. That's not right.
Yeah.
But she works at it.
Yeah, she works at it. I'm retired from being on the government list.
Yeah.
Semi
You
retired.
think.
Some of the research I've been doing lately, I think I've added myself back to at least a couple of them.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God, yes.
It pisses me off when they drop me off a list.
Right?
I know. I mean,
I worked hard on that
Yeah.
list. What the hell?
I feel like what? I don't matter anymore.
Well,
When
the
your
phone-
self-worth is.
the phone, when I discovered I was listening to everything I said because I ran a couple of tests. And
Yeah.
I went way out in the middle of nowhere and said sentences with stuff that, trust me, I would never buy.
Yeah.
I have never bought, will never purchase, have never purchased, and Ian McMurtry is not going to buy this stuff. Discussed it. Drove back into town, and pretty much as soon as that phone pinged, it started coming on my Facebook ads for this. It's like, what the hell?
What I love is I have friends who.
So what you're saying is the woobies were showing up in your Facebook ads.
It wasn't Woobies.
I do get woobies. Zero Foxtrot tries to sell me woobies all the time.
Oh yeah. Well, after this show,
That'll double up on it.
I've got friends who added me to their wish list for birthdays.
Oh God.
So every time they add something, I get a notice from it on my phone, and the ads on the side of whatever website I'm on start matching what they've added to their.
Oh yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah.
Amazon. It's like I'm on Google.
Yeah.
What the sidebar ads are now telling me to buy this.
That's several months ago. I was talking about Rhodesia, and I got to work, and my phone pinged, and Zero Foxtrot now has Rhodesian woobies, brushstroke woobies. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
One, they know their customer.
Yeah.
Two, how the hell?
Why either one they get the ads for the Rhodesian shorts?
Yeah.
Because-
because you made the mistake of looking it up.
Because you keep giving me hell about my shorts, and they go, oh, he's always interested in Rhodesian shorts.
I'm not giving you hell about your shorts. I'm giving you hell about
My
peeking
ass.
out.
No, ain't nothing peeking out. We have scientifically proven that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah, Richard says if you ask the FBI if you have a file, you'll have one for the request, if nothing.
People have requested their file. That's a full list.
Oh,
They
Richard,
have.
I would
I'm
love
on
to
that list.
FOIA Russia for a couple of things myself, just to see what was there.
Oh, speaking of Google, I am starting to transition away from Google because they apparently dropped the don't be or don't out of their don't be evil motto. Q10.
Yeah.
Q10 is a free author software. It's basically a word processor. That is a sweet little program, and it's so small it can't sniff anything off of you,
Yeah.
which is really nice. Only thing that irritates me about transitioning away from Google is when Rita edits my stuff, she can log in on the manuscript and I can be writing and I can look up, see her editing at the same time, which is really handy. I really like it. It's just I don't like the fact that Google's evil.
Yeah. RK says, anybody else here have additional duties at the crazy desk? I got to deal with all the crazies and the stories I can tell.
I used to be a mental health officer for one of them for the county.
So you and RK need to get together with some folks down.
Well,
What I love is the crazies that come across the gun ranges. Because that's
Oh.
both funny and terrifying at the same time.
Well, in Texas law, um, people judged mentally incompetent or flat cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs cannot be transported to a confinement or a treatment or confinement facility by anybody except the sheriff, his designees, or a constable. So this means that local PD giggles every time they bring in somebody who's bat nuts. Because once they drop them off, they don't have to touch them no more.
Yeah. Oh,
Does that include
Sarah
processing them
Singleton
into a
says,
jail?
I'm getting Chinese fashion scams in my news feed.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's actually not a surprise, and that's not necessarily off of what they're listening to. That's just the Chinese
Yeah.
spam out 3 billion
No,
emails every day on.
Well, they've got their spy bots going.
Yeah.
They've also got.
They're also
got
just
more.
bulk don't care.
They've got sales bots because they need to get dollars into their economy.
John says, I have no idea why anybody would put their stuff on Google. Google is the biggest copyright violator in the world.
I use Google, and I hate to say it because it was handy.
Yeah.
Google Docs.
Josh says, let's see if we can test that. Ruger Super Red Hawk Alaskan Toklat in 454 Casull. Now we'll see how many folks get the Lipsy's ad. All right, let's see if anybody gets it.
Lipsy's ad, Ruger 454. That's all it will
Super
take.
Red Hawk. Yeah.
That's all it will take.
What I love is I can't tell you how many times I've been out wandering around and I've said something that may have been construed by the phone as "Hey Siri."
Yeah.
And it'll pop up.
It's done it a couple of times. One of you two bastards, either accent or phonation, apparently sounds like me occasionally, because there's been a couple of times during the podcast that my phone will light up and it will be listening because one of you two said something and the phone thinks it's me.
Are you sure it's not just hearing you and lighting up?
No.
Do you have first face recognition turned on your phone?
No.
Okay. I've heard stories of people whose siblings look enough like them that it'll open their phone.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder how good is a facial recognition.
Well, Texas went to facial recognition on their mugshots. Well, the county I used to work for went to it last year, a couple years ago, 3 years ago. Time flies. And I was looking at the back channel on the because everybody thinks the facial recognition is like the face.
Yeah.
No, it's spots on the face.
Yeah.
And it's not quite as foolproof as people think it is.
Now, put on sunglasses and it won't open it.
Well, it's not just that, but the number of people that match facial recognition is incredible.
Yeah.
Well, it's the whole mask thing because the face recognition on your phone is supposed to be adaptive. It's supposed to learn. So when you grow a beard or shave it off,
Yeah.
it still gets it, right?
Right.
Well, if you looked at your phone often enough with your mask on, my phone started recognizing me with a mask on, which makes me scared because now it's getting this,
Yeah.
which is where the points are.
Yeah, on the Texas, it's the ocular triangle is what it looks at.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who that sucks for? You know the guy who plays the robber on like the cop shows. You know the real. We're looking for this man. Then they have an actor portray him.
Oh, he's screwed.
Yeah, he's screwed.
Dave Box says, I work at a gun shop. I have all crazy stories. Yeah.
No kidding.
RK says, I had a Rolodex of all the executive branch crazy desk officers. We tried to keep our responses the same when we all had the same crazy in hand. Yeah.
The guy that
Oh, that's hilarious because they're all giving him the same answer, and he's thinking,
oh
my God.
conspiracy.
Nancy said Vivaldi is one and Brave is another. Two different other browsers to use.
Oh, the Q10 isn't a browser; it's a word processor software.
I've gone to DuckDuckGo on my phone.
I use DuckDuckGo.
And it's cut down a lot on that. Yeah.
I use, but I do use Google occasionally because anyway. But what I like to do is compare my Google results to my DuckDuckGo results.
Yeah.
And the difference is staggering.
Yeah, staggering. All the
You can't tell me that Google doesn't have a political agenda.
Yeah.
No. I remember.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, John. I had forgotten about that. Kids in Europe were putting face paint on to fake out the facial recognition stuff. It's now been made illegal to wear face paint in Europe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the street cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, they're already trying to make hats and cloaks with hoods illegal.
Yeah.
Because the cameras are up high with a downward angle,
Yeah.
and people are like, screw it, put on a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Wait, and umbrellas. They're trying to make umbrellas illegal
Yeah.
in
Yes.
London for the same
Yeah.
reason.
They're saying, well, oh, there's a whole class of businessmen in London
Oh,
that's like when they try to take the pint away.
yeah.
Oh my God.
When I went to Metric,
Yeah.
don't have pints anymore? Yes,
Oh.
we do.
Yeah, Josh, I remember catching something about that story. I never heard what happened. A New England teen was run in for an Apple Store theft, charged, even though he was demonstrably out of state with his family. All based on Apple's facial algorithms.
Nope, our computer said that you did it, and the computers are
Yeah.
infallible.
No, I was here. No, you weren't. What blows my mind is there's nobody's using. I've lost a word. Officer discretion anymore.
Not allowed.
When I first went into law enforcement, officer discretion, they pounded that home.
Yeah.
They pounded it. It's on you. This arrest, this search and seizure are on you.
This is
Yeah.
officer discretion allows you to not arrest the 90-year-old lady for not mowing her lawn.
Exactly. But there should have been somebody go, okay, Apple software says he was there. We've got 14 witness statements, a credit card slip, and a restaurant camera saying he wasn't.
Yeah.
The answer should not be, we'll arrest him anyway. The answer should be, by discretion, we're not going to arrest him.
Well,
Officer discretion seems to be going out the door.
When I got my identity stolen in 2008, I was in California Christmas with the kids. And the law firm that came after me, even after I sent them rental car receipts and everything else, and a hotel receipt for the 26th of December, still said that I owed them $3,700 for what I had charged on Christmas Day in Virginia in an apartment I no longer lived in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get Arlington PD when I got back. I had to get the Navy involved, got involved,
I'm sorry.
the bank got involved,
But
and it took me over 2 years to unfuck that.
I'm hearing all this where there's ironclad definite evidence that this guy didn't do whatever he was accused of doing, and they're hooking him up anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, where the hell did officer discretion go?
Yeah.
Why are you arresting this guy when
Well, Don's got a good point. A lot of it has been legislated away.
Yeah. Well,
It's no longer an option.
it's also where
The
we're
zero,
going.
zero tolerance
Yeah,
policy.
not only that, but we're tending towards a legal society where the innocent must prove he's innocent,
Yeah.
not the state prove he's guilty.
Guilty and
Which-
proven innocent,
yeah,
which is impossible.
which has been the standard since the American Republic is you don't have to prove you're innocent. The state has to prove you're guilty.
Well, I've been going around with my my toll tag because I'll use it going to Lawton, and for some reason this toll tag isn't pinging the correctly. So I go up and back, and then a few weeks later I get a notice saying, "Hey, you owe us $6 for going through the twice." And I called them and I said, "Hey, I've got a toll tag. This is the number.
You should know I've got it.
Right. And by this point, they've already sent it off to some lawyer on the East Coast. No, it's a lawyer on the East Coast.
Oh.
And so every month or so, I get a letter from a lawyer saying, "Hey, you owe us $300 and some odd dollars for unpaid tolls and late fees." And every time a new letter, it must cost them an ungodly amount of money to write these letters because it goes up by a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and that's somebody at toll tag.
Is your toll tag been charged for the trip?
No, but it should be. Our Texas toll tags work in Oklahoma.
Yes.
So
So
then get a new toll tag.
yeah, I've called them and they're working on that.
Yeah, because as soon as that showed up, somebody, due diligence and all that, should have gone, okay, does
Well-
Mr. Garber have a toll tag? He
No, I
does.
called Oklahoma and I told them, "Hey, this is the deal. What's going on? She's like, oh yeah, you're right. We're gonna get rid of all the late fees. We're gonna stop the lawyer, and it's now just $675 is what I owed. So
Yeah.
I paid it, right?
Hmm.
The lawyer thinks he's gonna get his money.
Nancy says, for an interesting novel trilogy that deals with facial recognition, intrusive tech, etc. Look at The Travelers, or The Traveler by John Twelvehawks.
Never heard of him.
I've never heard of that one either.
What was the last name again?
12 Hawks.
John Twelvehawks. It's 2 words.
Okay.
Yeah, that is. And Jesse says, yeah, that which is not prohibited will be required. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and I watched it over the course of a 25, 26 year career.
Yeah.
Going from officer discretion is paramount. And, I watched, it started with domestic violence.
Yeah.
When I first started, and I don't know what the law is now, when I first started, Texas Penal Code said if the officer felt if you showed up to an assault family violence, and the officer felt that the violence would continue, he should make an arrest. There was do you think that they're going to keep punching each other's lights out? If so, you got to hook him up, and that makes sense to me. But there were several of them that it happened. It was stupid. I'm going to my mother's house. If he is going to a relative's house in another town, it's not going to continue.
Yeah.
Therefore, I do not need to make an arrest.
Look at the Brian Laundrie, whatever the girl that disappeared up.
Yeah.
Look at, because they've got a domestic violence call on them on body cam from the officers
Right.
up there, and you look at that, and they're like, the officers did exactly what they were allowed to do.
And they separated them.
Right.
But
They couldn't.
now all the mainstream media is all over the officers' asses.
And
They
that
didn't do enough.
and that'll
because-
change, and that'll cause another legislative
And this is
change.
exactly the reason.
Yep.
It's because they didn't have officer discretion, so they couldn't lock them up. They couldn't make them go their separate
Have
ways.
I ever told you about the domestic violence that I was involved with that wound up on 60 Minutes?
No, you told me about the thwacka
With the
self-help
Yeah.
freezer.
no. This one, we had first county I worked for. We had a young lady, cute little thing, was married, husband worked for the oil field, provided really well. She got into a pen pal program because she didn't have to work. She was a stay-at-home mom. Father, her husband was supporting her, and they had 2 kids at the time. She got into a prison pen pal program.
Oh,
Well, next thing we know, husband comes home from 6 weeks in the oil field, and wife is gone. Wife and kids are gone. What the hell? He starts, didn't have cell phones when I first started. Starts, asking questions, and turns out she's driven down to the Walls unit in Huntsville because her prison pen pal was getting released.
and she took the kids.
Took the kids to go see prison pen pal. Got down there,
Wow.
used a Huntsville lawyer to send divorce papers. Got divorced, married the critter. Came back. Husband shattered. He had done his best, doesn't know what the hell. He shattered, doesn't fight the divorce. She gets everything. They sell everything.
Yeah.
Wind up across the tracks in a dilapidated double wide in the middle of a thicket of trees. And we get a call, and I go screaming over there, and she's in the street, and she has a cut from her wrist up to almost to the inside of her elbow.
Oh.
And she is bleeding like stuck hog. The daughter, who was 16 or 17, is screaming. 12-year-old boy is losing his mind. What happened? Well, he went after mama with a knife. Well, goodness. Call the ambulance. She tells us, the ambulance, what the hell happened? She tells the same story to the ambulance. I say, document everything, please. And I go hunting. And I finally have to drag the critter out from under a boat that was stuck in a grove of saplings where somebody, he was hiding under it. And I was annoyed. I dragged his ass out from under that boat. get him for violate his parole, get him for new charges. Well, 2 weeks later, she files an affidavit of non-prosecution on new charges. And they tell you in Texas, the state doesn't require cooperation of victim, but the DA is not going to, in domestic violence, if he filed an affidavit of non-prosecution, DA is not going to file a charge.
Yeah, because then he's got to fight everything.
He's got to fight the witness, the main witness on the stand.
Yeah, it's a lose for him.
Yeah. So all right, I got that ass. Hey, this is not my first rodeo. And I show up at his parole hearing, and I do everything up to including bending the law as much as I was comfortable with to get his parole violated. I went in there and I produced the statements from the ambulance folks, everything we'd had to, every call we'd been on, and I might have exaggerated the amount of methamphetamine I found in the trailer when I searched it afterwards by maybe a factor of 100.
Yeah.
But I was doing my damnedest. Well, wife gets in there and how I'm a liar, and she was clumsy and cut herself in the kitchen, and then the son gets in there. Don't take my father figure away.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
and the daughter, I always suspected that the critter was after the daughter.
Yeah.
But she got in there and they walked out, and I knew what was. I knew. I looked at the parole, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. And I told her and said, I've done my best. Don't stay.
Yeah.
You need to move on down the road. And they left. Well, about 12 years later, I'm sitting at the house. I've got a gin and tonic. I'm happy to climb a high tide, and 60 Minutes comes on. It's talking about the epidemic of violence against women. It was when some presidential jackass was all his big thing was ending violence against women. Well, they got a silly bimbo on there. It's like, oh hell. So I'm watching this one, and she gets on there and she's weeping about her years of dealing with domestic violence and how it affected her daughter and how no law enforcement ever did anything to help her ever. And I had to buy a new TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wasted a gin and tonic on the TV.
Josh said what he found works with collection agencies is to find the desk phone of the boss and threaten harassing charges. And apparently it was all over the wife, Koala, had gotten a phone that the previous payer was a delinquent. And the collection agents refused to believe that she didn't still have the phone. So Josh got a hold of the head collections office phone number, called him, and fixed the problem.
Yeah. When I first started dating Rita, I didn't have a cell phone. Swore I'd never have a cell phone. Started dating Rita, needed a cell phone. So I got one of those pay-as-you-go burner phones.
Yeah. I remember when you got that.
There's another list.
Yeah, I got a pay-as-you-go burner phone because
it was a drug dealer's phone.
It had been the guy, the recreational pharmaceutical supplier who had used it before. Apparently, was also crap with his budget, because I started getting calls about Mookie needing to pay in between the hey Mookie, you got some green, and various annoyed women. I started getting because he wasn't paying his crap. Well, it started back up again because apparently when he gets loans, when he gives the phone, they never ever dial the phone to see if it rings on it.
Yeah.
So he's given his old phone number, which happens to be mine.
I've got the same problem with some woman down in Fort Worth giving my phone to the insurance agency when she goes shopping for new health insurance.
Right.
Yeah. So, and this lady, every 6 months, she must be on some kind of Obamacare, because every 6 months I start getting text messages saying, hey, this is Sally. We talked yesterday on the phone about health insurance. I wonder if you could give me a call. And I want to find that lady's number, her actual real number now.
Well, these payday or payroll loan places, I've been telling them, do you ever call the number they're giving you to make sure it's their phone?
No, they never do.
Didn't think of that. You might oughta.
Yeah. All right, we've wasted enough of these folks' time. Folks, thanks
Oh,
for
holy crap.
We went 4 over.
thanks for listening in today and putting up with our rants on various subjects. We do appreciate the cooperation and input from the chat. That usually makes things more interesting.
It usually let's just keep going.
Yeah. And we appreciate it. Have a good weekend. If you're in Texas, stay dry.
Y'all be safe.
And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. See you later. Bye.